Gender-affirming practices in trans choral ensembles. I recently completed a literature review on transgender and gender-expansive singers in choir and found that while some research exists on the topic of transgender singers in the private voice studio, very little research has been published specific to teaching transgender singers in the choral ensemble. Several articles in the literature suggested that future studies on trans choirs could illuminate even more recommendations for gender-inclusive rehearsal practices and pedagogy, which is the subject of this research study. The purpose of this study is to investigate gender-affirming practices in the choral ensemble, with the goal of better understanding practices which help singers of all genders feel welcomed and affirmed. This is a formative research project because a literature review has revealed that minimal scientifically based exploration has been published on the topic. It uses three principal tools of formative research: key informant interviews, participant observation, and focus groups. Specifically, I will conduct open-ended interviews with directors of trans choirs and other key informants, observations of rehearsals of trans choirs, and focus groups with members of trans choirs in 3 different cities in the United States. Audio recordings of the focus group transcripts will be coded thematically using theory-driven qualitative data analysis software and analyzed for patterns and themes in the data, as well as useful and illustrative quotes. Expected outcomes include a greater understanding of practices which help singers of all genders feel welcomed and affirmed in the choral ensemble and which do not. There has been very little published research specific to teaching transgender singers in the choral ensemble, and this study could help create a greater understanding of gender-affirming practices. Potential impact includes choral conductors being more effective and supportive teachers, which could lead to better retention of transgender and gender-expansive singers in choral programs and more welcoming and affirming spaces for all.